Hello, I'm Julia Hankins, and I work with children's yoga teachers to help them grow in confidence so that they can earn more money and change the world teaching kids yoga. And today I wanted to talk all about mentoring. Now, this is something that I don't see much talk of in the kids yoga community, and it's something that I think is invaluable in our yoga businesses. And so I thought I'd just talk about what mentoring is and why I think it's really useful in your yoga business. So today I'll be sharing with you how mentoring can help your business to grow. And so for me, in my own personal experience as a kids yoga teacher, I spent a lot of money on trainings, thousands of pounds on trainings and on courses and books and resources and so many different things before I arrived at discovering mentoring. And actually, I didn't find any kids yoga mentors to support me, but I did find some business mentors that I found really useful and really instrumental for me growing in my business. And so now I offer mentoring myself as an experienced kids yoga teacher, and I love sharing my experiences with other kids yoga teachers and helping support their growth. But I think that mentoring is not something that we automatically think about to do with kids yoga teaching. It's it's not really seen it's not really seen as something to do, and I think this is a real shame because I think it's such a valuable resource that we can lean on to enhance our businesses. And so, mentoring is when you work with somebody who has already worked in the setting that you are in and offers support through upskilling you basically and supporting you to grow in your business in a particular area or in multiple areas. And so, I'd like to talk about ways in which mentoring can support you to thrive in yours. So, firstly, the main reason I think mentoring is fabulous is because it can help you to grow financially. Unless you've got a background in business and unless you feel really super confident with the business aspect, this can be kind of a missing piece for us as yoga teachers. We can kind of go from class to class and kind of wonder what's happening and why we're not being financially abundant because we're trying our hardest, and we think that we need to either teach more classes or get more people in. And I, for one, found that I just got burnt out. I was doing all the classes for all the different things. It was like, and I think what we can do as well is feel like this isn't working. I need to train in something else. And so for me, I was teaching parent and baby, parent and toddler. I was teaching family classes. I was teaching after school classes, in school classes. I taught adult workshops. I taught at festivals. I taught, there was all the things. And I just kept thinking, I need to earn more money unless and it's not from this like money grabbing point of view. It's that like we need to feed our family kind of, and either I have to get a normal job or I need to make this work. And so I kept thinking, add more classes, get more people through the door. And I was just getting burnt out and exhausted. And so mentoring really helped me to realise that where I could kind of leverage in my business and what would support me to grow. And it wasn't because the mentors themselves could say this is what you need to do. It was just giving me that space to kind of reflect and talk things through with somebody. And so I really think that when we have a mentor that the relationship is good with, they can help us to reflect on our business outside of the day-to-day, class-by-class kind of approach, and reflect on what is it that's working, what is it that's not working, how can we make changes to transform the business. And so being a real kind of tool for greater financial success is a real driver for me offering mentoring to support other people to be able to do this. And so for me personally, the reflections that I came to were that actually working in schools was the best thing for me. And I cut back all of my other things, even though I enjoyed those classes. I went down the kind of just focusing on schools route, not because anybody told me to do that, but just because that's the reflection that came up for me. And now I feel like I have more of a sustainable business because I am just focusing on schools, and my annual contracts renew every year. It just feels really sustainable and safe in my body. I'm not like panicking each half term, like, are people going to book on? Am I going to fill the classes? How do I promote all of that? And so for me personally, I specialise now in schools. Now, if you were to work with me as a mentor, I could support you to do the same, but I wouldn't be telling you that you needed to do that, because it wouldn't be my role to say do this, but it's just a way in which I could support you if you needed that. Another way that working with a mentor can help us is because it helps us grow in confidence. And I really think that so many, well, women, I think, especially, can not see what makes them special, and not see, I think people actually, maybe not necessarily just women, but it can be really hard to see what makes us special, what makes us different, what makes us unique. I often need people to reflect that back to me. And when you have a mentor who can really listen to you and hold space for you, they can reflect back your skills, what it is that you do that's special, and they can support you to grow in a way that's aligned with you, rather than, you doing something and thinking, well, this is what everybody else is doing, so I should do this, which, is a real temptation. You look around at other people's yoga businesses, see what they're doing, and think, I should do that. When a mentor can really help you to tune in to what will be right for you, and it's not necessarily what everybody else is doing. And so that can help really increase your confidence, and also having somebody to bounce ideas off can really help your confidence as well. So if you're somebody who sometimes second guesses what you're doing, the people who I'm working with quite often will send me emails that they're thinking of sending to a parent or to a school, or some sort of documentation that they'd like to get checked over, or planning of some sort that they're like, oh, could you just check, what do you think of this? And I can read it and say, and offer my thoughts on it, and just be like, oh, it's really great, I love this bit, oh, this bit sounds a little bit unclear, and I wonder whether perhaps you could adapt this, but that support in that way can help you feel confident in what it is that you're sharing. And then that again feeds into my first point, which is about financial abundance, because if you feel confident in what it is that you're delivering, then you're more able to ask for the price that you feel is fair. Pricing is a whole different thing, and I do think that as yoga teachers there are quite a lot of money blocks around that. There's a whole money mindset thing, which is definitely a conversation for another day, but an important one. And I feel like when you work with a mentor, they can support you in feeling confident in what it is that you're delivering, so that you can ask for an amount that is appropriate, rather than giving your time freely or for not very much money at all, which I see happening a lot with kids yoga teachers. So and yeah, when we're talking about the confidence as well, sometimes some of my mentors may have had a situation occur in a class that they'd like to talk about, a specific child that they're struggling with, or a specific situation that they would just like a few more ideas with, or just a listening ear, somebody to reflect back and say, that's really difficult, and that is really good at supporting you to feel more confident in your business. So another thing that I think is really useful about having a mentor is that working with a mentor can help you to shape your life in the way that you want it. We can really easily get caught in that trap of just growing because that's without really much thought. And this is what I did in my first few years of like, I'll put on that class, oh okay, that's going well, I'll add on another class, or I'll do this, or somebody's asked for this, I'll do that. And then before I knew it, I was doing classes at a time that really didn't suit my family, and I was working in a way that really didn't suit me and my own personal situation. I was overwhelmed by my working, and it wasn't until working with a mentor that I realised, okay, yeah, this is the problem. This is where the issues are. I just brought over these like workaholic aspects from my role as a senior leader in schools, and I just applied that straight into my kids yoga business, and I was a workaholic in my kids yoga business. And it took me working with somebody else for me to see that that was what was going on. And I think working with a mentor who supports you can really help you to ask questions, consider things. Is this the way that I want my life to be? How do I want my life to look? And supporting you in creating that life. And really, ultimately, surely that's what we all want. Surely we all want to create a life that feels good and nourishing and enlivening, rather than just, delivering classes and not really going anywhere. And then the final thing that I think is really valuable in working with a mentor is that it combats loneliness. So when I work with people in a longer 6-month contracts or 6-month mentorship, I have the meetings are set at times that suit the people. So we may have like a couple like every other week, and then we might have like a month in between, or we might it just varies, whatever the needs are with the people who I'm working with. But what we will also do is have like emails in between, and so this really helps. I know that the people who I work with find it incredibly supportive and nourishing, because it can be incredibly lonely having your own business and teaching kids yoga. It can feel really isolating. And although there are wonderful communities out there, if you're not already in the Facebook groups School Yoga Teachers and Kids Yoga UK, then check out those, Kids Yoga Teachers UK and School Yoga Teachers, because they're really lovely supportive communities. But sometimes we want to just get some feedback from somebody else. And I definitely have a really lovely relationship with each one of my mentees, where they can email me and say, I'm feeling really rubbish today because this happened. And just being able to share that with somebody else, somebody who gets it, that's really important and really helpful. So yeah, combating loneliness is a really, really beautiful benefit of working with a mentor. So those are some really important things to think about in what we could benefit from if we're working with mentors. They can help us grow financially, they can help us grow in confidence, and they can help us combat loneliness, and they can also help us create the life that we want to live. But some considerations that you might want to think about before engaging with a mentor is, firstly, the person needs to really have experienced whatever it is you're wanting to work in. So, for example, the people that work with me usually want to work with schools, because that's where I've got a lot of experience, not only as being a kids yoga teacher, but also in my background with education. I was a school senior leader, a leader in PE, PSHE, emotional literacy, lots of things. And so I come at it from both angles, from the school perspective and from the teaching perspective. And so I do attract people who generally want to work in schools. And so when people work with me, I can share with them like the mistakes that I've made and the traps that I've fell into and what not to do, and also things from the school perspective of things they may not be aware of to do with schools and the school climate and the politics in schools. So I do tend to draw people with that intent, and I also tend to draw people to work with me who want to set up kids yoga classes, in the community and those kind of things. But if you're not looking for those things, if you're looking for something more specific, like working, for example, if adult yoga, and you're wanting to grow your adult yoga classes, then you're best to get a mentor who has that foundation, who has been there, who has done that, because the importance is really working with somebody who gets what it is you're trying to do, and so that you can learn from their mistakes, and so that you can really gain insight into the area that they've already experienced. So yeah, consider that. So I've already said how passionate I am about working with people as a mentor. I really love it. It's really fulfilling for me as well, because I miss that. I used to be a mentor in my role as a senior leader, and so I really love working with people in this one-to-one kind of situation. But it's also really nourishing for the people who are obviously working with me, and I foster a relationship with them so that they can email me and I can share with them journal prompts and podcasts and book ideas and anything that kind of links to what it is that they are talking about, or that we're talking about. And we really personalize it, so it's not just you follow this system and this will work. It's I get to know you and your business. I get to know what your struggles are, what the things are you need support with, and I help support you with those. So if you're considering working with a mentor and you feel like you may like to work with me, then now is a really good time for you to get in touch, because on the 22nd of June I will be increasing my prices, because they need to better reflect the transformation that occurs when people work with me, and the amount of content that they get from working with me. Because as well as working with me in the capacity as a mentor, you also get access to my training, you get access to resources that I can share with you, and it's a really big old package really. So if you'd like to lock in the price that it is currently, that it will not be repeated at again, then email me before the 22nd of June. And anyone who's in contact with me up until June the 22nd, you'll be able to lock in the current price of the 6-month mentorship, and also you'll be able to lock in the price of a power hour. A power hour is when we spend just an hour together and you can ask me questions about a specific thing, and we can work together on that specific thing, or you can pick my brains about a couple of things, but it's just 1 hour rather than a whole sequence of them. Or some people have 1 hour and then decide that they would then like to upgrade and then go to a 6-month mentorship. That can happen too. So if you would like to lock in the low prices that are on at the moment, then email me before the 22nd of July, and we can find out if we're suited to work together. And we could have an email conversation, or we could hop on a little Zoom call for a quick chat, so you can ask me any questions about how it all works. But yeah, if you're interested in growing your business, making it more sustainable, feeling more financially abundant and more confident in what you're offering, then get in touch and see how we can work together. I would really love to support you as you grow your yoga business. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you like this video, and thanks for watching. And if you've got any other questions that you'd like me to talk about in any of these videos, please email me or comment below and I'll see what I can do. Thanks for watching.